Hello. I am going to walk through how to set up a CRM for the very first time. So, if you're a consultant or fractional exec or any independent business owner, you might be just winging it when it comes to your CRM, or maybe you're using a spreadsheet. But in today's video, I'm going to walk through how you could set up a simple and easy to use CRM called Folk and how you do that from scratch. I'm going to take you through the things you need to think about before you even get started with a CRM, how to actually create the fields and the pipeline in the CRM. And then I'll walk through how to create contacts in that CRM using their really handy LinkedIn integration. And then I'll explore a couple of the other features, but I really want to keep this simple and I really want it to be really helpful to you as a consultant or exec when you're trying to keep on top of the deals that you're having conversations with prospects, so that you know that you have a trusted source where you can go to find out who you've spoken to, what you need to do next, so you can stay on top of it. One of the number one reasons why people don't close many deals is because they just let deals fall through the gaps because they don't have a system to help them stay on top of it all. So I'm going to run through it now. And the first thing we're going to do is have a look at what your CRM might look like right now if you're using one. So first of all, I want to say it's totally okay if you're using a spreadsheet. Look, a spreadsheet as a CRM is better than no CRM whatsoever. As you can see here, this is just a very simple example of a CRM where I've got the name, the title, the LinkedIn URL, the company URL, last contact, the stage, next steps, and notes. This is very typical, and you might have something like this. Some people actually prefer writing it on paper, but I would encourage you to at least move from paper to a spreadsheet, and when you're ready, move from a spreadsheet to an actual proper CRM. The main reasons being is that a proper CRM like Folk can help you keep track of where the different opportunities are in your pipeline and just keep maintaining to make sure that you are staying on top of those deals. So we're going to look at Folk today. Folk is a super simple CRM, and I recommend that you start there. My background is I actually used to work as a CRM consultant, a marketing tech consultant. So I did a lot of implementations. I've worked with Salesforce, with HubSpot, with Pipedrive, with Copper. You name the CRM, I've usually seen the back end of it. And I always said to my client that the most important and best CRM for any business is one where the sales reps actually use. So I'm not here to debate on what the best CRM is in the world, but if you are a consultant, a fractional executive, then Folk is a super simple and lightweight CRM and the one that I recommend for the majority of my clients. So just to give a brief overview of Folk, it allows you to set it up very simply. You can pull in data from lots of different sources. You can use a lot of AI in here. I'm not going to go through the AI features as well. And then it also allows you to build multiple pipelines. Now, this could be quite important for you because you might have a pipeline which is just for sales. And then you may also have a partnership pipeline or a client pipeline as well, especially if you're working with multiple clients on an ongoing basis, or you finished with your client project, but you want to stay in touch with those clients for when they might need to work with you again. You can set up a separate pipeline for them as well. But before we get into the Folk CRM, we need to do a bit of planning. And that planning really comes to think about what custom fields we want to have in the CRM. So like what data do we want in there? And then also what are our pipeline stages? Now, if you've been through the client pipeline kickstart course, you'll know the different stages that I recommend. But from a pipeline point of view, we're looking at here. Typically, for a consultant or fractional exec, you have the status of a lead, then a call booked, then a proposal is sent. I like to add in working to close because oftentimes there's a big gap between the proposal being sent and the client actually making the decision to move forward with you. Then you have closed won. That's when they say yes and they want to get started. And then you have closed lost. When you have closed lost, that also means that it might be that the deal didn't close right now. So you do want to stay on top of your closed loss and revisit those on a monthly basis. So that's your pipeline. Those are the different stages that you may have seen in a Kanban board. And I'll show you how to set this all up in Folk. You also want to think about what contact data do you want to have? So on a contact record, what fields do you want to have information about? To keep things simple, I'm just having in here decision maker, and that has to be a yes or a no answer. From a company, I'm going to use me as an example. My consulting, I work with B2B sales teams, but I can work with agencies and I can work with software companies. So I want to be able to distinguish between these different companies in my CRM. And then on a deal side, the records that we want to have is usually mapped or similar to the deal, to the form fields that you have in your call booking forms, and maybe some of the questions that you have in your discovery call. Again, if you've been through the Client Pipeline Kickstart course, you'll know exactly how to run that discovery call. Just to show you what mine looks like, this is my call booking link. I'm using cow.com. There's of course lots of other ones here. I've got information such as their website. I ask them to select which service they're interested in. I ask them to tell me their current challenges and objectives with sales. That just helps me prepare and understand like what I'm actually going to be speaking about. I also ask for the ideal outcome of the call. And then lastly, I ask for the lead source. So where did they hear about me or my company? So I want to make sure that these fields are showing up in the CRM, especially as I'm working through these deals. So we've done our planning. We've got our contact records. Of course, you can have as many as you want here, but start simple. Start with one or two and just only start with those essential fields. You can always add in more. We've got our company fields, we've got our pipeline stages, and we've got our deal fields as well. So let's get into Folk. I signed up before, so I kind of messed up the onboarding, but I'm going to create a new workspace here. So this one is called Yellow O YouTube for the purpose of this video. What type of company is it? I am a small or medium business. What's my company size? Only me. How many teammates will be using Folk? No one, just me at the moment. So I'm going to say next. What brings you to Folk? I want to sell more. I want to connect with partners. Oh no, I want to sell more. I can only choose one. We'll set up the sales pipeline today in this video. Connect your email to sync your leads. I'm just going to skip this for now, but I love this copy here. No, I like the endless copy and paste. That's good, but I'll skip this for now because I just want to keep it real simple. So start free trial. So now I need to add my first leads. Now, typically what you might do is you might want to import these leads from your contacts in Google, or you might have them in a spreadsheet or somewhere else. So you can import them from a different location. Here it gives a few different options. I'm just going to create a sample now because I want to make sure that the fields are ready in Folk so that if I'm importing them from HubSpot, a different CRM, or from a spreadsheet, I have the right fields in the columns of my spreadsheet to map to Folk. So I'm just going to create a sample. Now here we can see that we've already got a pipeline. And if I look here, it's got different views as well. So these are all people. These are the people records. This is just example data. Then I have company records as well. So we can look at them by company. And then we have all prospects, which I believe is the same. And then we have a sales pipeline. Now, if I go back to my planning, these are the stages that I want to have in the pipeline. And when I say a stage, what I really mean is this row, sorry, this column, this column, this column, this column. And the idea is a lead will come in, or a prospect will come in as a lead, and you want to move them to the right across so that they become a customer. Closed won is the ideal scenario. But as we can see, there's a bit too many columns here in the pipeline. So let's go back to what I have. Lead, then call booked. So I am going to go here. So qualified, I might just change that to lead. So I'm just going to rename it. And then to contact, I'm going to change this one to call booked. Now, the deals, the stages in your pipeline will be totally up to you. I'm just setting up the sales pipeline for people that have already requested a call with me or have filled out a form on my website. I'm not including my prospecting activity in here, and that's totally up to you whether you want to put them in here. I would suggest if you did want to have your prospecting data, you would add them into a different pipeline. So that could be called your prospecting pipeline. But this one is going to be call booked. Again, this is all dummy data, so it doesn't really matter that nothing's correct at the moment. Then I've got proposal sent and working to close. So let's have a look here. Contacted, so let's just rename that. Oh, did that not change? That was on me. Proposal sent. Working to close. I'm going to just move this one, going to delete that, delete column, I'm sure. So now I've got a simplified pipeline. I'll always keep no status just as like a catch-all or backup. Then I've got lead to contact. That didn't save it, did it? So rename. Okay, lesson here, always hit enter. Call booked, proposal sent, working to close, won or lost. Okay, so if I just go back here and check my pipeline, I've got all of that information here, which is fantastic. Now I want to actually go and add in my deal date. So I need to navigate back to the Folk app. I need to open up a contact or company record, and now I need to set the first deal. So the next time you do this in the future, you won't have to worry about this, but the first time you need to add a new field and select deal, and I'm just going to call this one test deal for now. Now that we've got a deal property here, we can click into it. And now this is where we can add the fields that are specific to the deals here. So I'm going to start with a couple of easy ones, and I may just pause the recording so that I can complete the rest. But we follow the process of new field. This is just a text field, and I need to just rename it to be called call outcome. Hit enter, let's go back. Now I want engagement type, so I need to do a single select because typically my clients fall into one of these three categories. So select, and now I put in audit, hit enter, advisory, or more consulting. And I can change the colors if I want to. I can change how they look here. I'm just going to keep it like this for now. And then just to need to rename it as engagement type. So we've got call outcome, engagement type, we've got deal value, this is automatically added, a deal owner, that's always going to be me, most likely will always be you. Close dates are really important because it helps you just track when deals are likely to close. Usually it's your best guess, unless a prospect has said we want to get started on the 1st of March, then you might put in the 1st of March, but I'd always encourage you to collect the revenue first before you mark it as closed won. So current challenges and objectives with sales, come back in here, new field. This is just a text field. Then I need to rename the label, hit enter. Now, the next one is this is going to take me just a little bit longer. So feel free just to skip ahead as I add in all of these options. So I'll talk through it just in case you do want to watch it. But this one is going to be a multi-select because it could be more than one service that they're looking for. I'm going to call this one service. Oh, didn't want to delete that. And now I'm going to type that in. And I'm just going to copy and paste, so it won't take me too long. And it changes, it auto assigns colors to them. But again, you can change these if you want to. But for the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to keep it like this. You can make it look how you want it to. And then you want other ones. Cool. So now I've got my deal my deal information in here. So all of these are checked off, which is great. Now I might want to go into the contact record and add decision maker, company records, and add the company custom fields as well. So let's go into that, see if I can't remember if I've done that already. So all companies, let's go Apple. I don't have anything here, so I'm going to do new field. This is going to be a select, and it's going to be SaaS agency other, just in case there's another. Change this to company type. Now, of course, this is very specific to me and my consulting business. It's not saying that you have to have company type here, but that's why we do that planning stage at the beginning, just to list out all of the fields that we need to add in. I think I've done the decision maker on the contact record. Let's have a look. All people. Let's have a look. Decision maker. Yeah, I've got that in here as well. Okay, so we have so far set up our pipeline. We've added in our custom fields. Now it's time to add in the first prospect or the first person into Folk. Now, one of the things I love about Folk is that it has a really neat Chrome extension. This is Sean, a good friend of mine. So I can just click add to Folk on anybody's LinkedIn profile, and it's going to say, where do you want to create the contact? Now this is going to go into the sales pipeline because that's the only pipeline I've got set up. But as I mentioned before, I might want to do partners, I might want to do a client pipeline. So you can actually select it here. I'm just going to add Sean to the sales pipeline. And we can see here that it's automatically populating with this information from Sean's profile. Now I can add an email in here manually. There isn't a way to enrich this, but I don't really want to give Sean's email out in this video. I've got birthday, which is just the standard fields that are here. And now this is the important bit. This is where you connect it to a deal. So you might now want to add in a new deal. So I'm going to call this one advisory monthly. I typically name my deals by the product or service line that the person is interested in. And if I've just gone into the CRM, I can see that Sean has been added into the sales pipeline. However, this isn't actually the right view. Now that we've added deals, I'm going to click add new view. I'm going to call it deal pipeline. You could call it opportunities. It depends on what you want to call it, but I'm going to call mine deal pipeline. I'm going to select the view type of deals, and then I'm going to have it track in pipeline. And I want it to group it by the status. So these are the statuses here. So I'm going to create the view. There should only be 2 in here, the test one, which was with Anna, and then also Sean here as well. Now, because I haven't put in the values within the custom fields, I need to go in and do that now. So I'm going to open that up, and it opens it on the right-hand side. And now I'm just going to go and put in the different statuses and details. So it's $2,000. I'm the deal owner. Close date, let's say the 20th. Cool outcome. So this is where I would put in that information from the conversation that I had with Sean. Now, I mentioned before that it was from my call booking link. So you can actually connect the call booking link to the to Folk. I'll probably record a separate video about that. But this information can auto-populate because it's capturing it from the form. Then it creates a deal for you all with Zapier automatically. So I want to show you just a couple more things here. So you would go through the process of adding in your contacts. Again, you can import contacts via a CSV. But what you might want to do now is think about, well, what happens with following up with prospects? How do I manage that follow-up process? So let's just take Sean as an example. I can click in here to Sean, look at her personal profile, and now I want to set a reminder. So I come here, new reminder, and what I recommend when it comes to your reminders is to actually say what it is you want to do. So send Sean the testimonials. And I need to do that so today is the 10th. I'm going to do that on the 13th. Doesn't have to repeat. So I've created that reminder, and now I'll get a notification when I need to do that task. Now, obviously it looks quite empty at the moment because there's only one and dummy data in here, but you can imagine how easy this is and how much it simplifies your to-do list, specifically with sales. When you are running your own practice, it can be very easy to get overwhelmed with the work that you're doing and neglect your pipeline. What I would recommend that you do is every morning have a 15-minute calendar block in your calendar, in your diary, for you to check your sales activity, because it might be that you just need to send a quick email or a check-in with a prospect. So let's just look into this so we can see the reminder. And once that reminder comes up in my my tasks as my things to do, I can say that I've done it. Another thing that you can do, and I may not have the right connection right now, but you can actually send an email. So I'm just going to make up an email, hello@yellowo.co.uk. This is one of my emails. And I can actually send an email to Sean. No, I can't. I pressed the wrong thing. So if I go to messages, I've got no messages in here again. This is just a demo account to show you how it works, but you can set up your own templates. Now, one of the challenges that we have in sales is that we get ghosting. In the Vault, I've got a number of different templates, and there's about 15 different options here for the ghosting templates that you can use. So I'm just going to copy this one, put it in here. So the ghosting, what was the context of this? So ghosting, still interested. So I'm just going to call that so I can use this again and again in the future. So I'm going to create. Now I can put the subject line in and also put in the body text. So I've got hi first name, so that's great. It's pulled in the custom field. and then still interested in your company name. So this would be your company name, Yellow O. Again, not saying you have to use this template word for word, but now I can sort out the details. And now I can put the variables. I wonder if it has my name. Nope. So I'll just keep it as Mark. Okay. And now I can send this to Sean if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna, it's saved it automatically. So if I go back into my people record, so all people, we should have Sean here. And now I can send an email. I think because I haven't actually connected it to my, I haven't connected it to my Gmail. So this is something that you'd want to do in the setup process. You would want to set it up as a new sender. But what you can effectively do is pull out the template here, use the available template. It adds it in here, saving you a ton of time. You don't have to keep repeating this. And then you would say review and then send. So that's a quick overview, or relatively quick overview, of how you would go about setting up your CRM from scratch. Again, you might just be using a spreadsheet, but you're finding that you're forgetting to follow up with people, or it's just becoming too much to add people to your CRM. So a tool like Folk can certainly help you with that. Not only can it capture the information from LinkedIn, it can add in a lot more research as well, which I didn't cover today because I feel like that's something that is like a level 2. I didn't want to show you too much of the features and functionality because this was just a guide on how to go from not having a CRM or setting up a CRM for the first time. Keep an eye out for future videos. I'm sure I'll record some about the Zapier integrations and some of the other unique features of Folk. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by visiting www.generatingpipeline.com. That's it for me. Peace.